Welcome. Welcome to Lady Rose Queendom. Gather round, tell a friend. Everybody sing. Welcome to Lady Rose Queendom, where we nurture, cultivate, and awaken your inner queen. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. Welcome to Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose Queendom. Well, Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose Queendom. Come on, Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose. Lady Rose. Lady Rose. Your crown is waiting.
Hello. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Y'all was trying to feed my face and time was running out. And Lord have mercy. I did not want to be on this screen smacking in y'all ear. But I think I got the last little bite down. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm gonna play y'all some music while I run and grab my water because I think I left it in the other room. Give me just 1 second. I promise you I'll be right back. And that was for Living For Me, because she said she didn't like the elevator music, so I found her some rock and roll. I found you some rock and roll. Anywho, good afternoon, Living For Me. Say good afternoon, Lady Rose. Chat, please hit that like button. Yes. Comment, share, and subscribe. Good evening, Brown Girls Rock. Good evening, Sergeant in Charge. Miss y'all too. Good evening, Symmetry. Y'all, I'm so sorry. You said no, it won't. I've been patiently waiting on this review. Oh my God. Y'all. Oh my God. Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can hear me. I plugged my mic in. When I tell you, it seemed like I'm like on the last minute running around today. Let me get a sip of water. But I do have a review for you. I hope you guys enjoy it, child. It's about to be some mess. Because I want to know, did y'all watch the same episode I watched? Because I've been listening to some people and child, I'm curious. I don't think we all watched the same episode. I think y'all may have watched something differently. Before we get into the episode, let me go ahead and get some pleasantries. Hey, that's me, AD. Good afternoon. Good evening. It ain't afternoon. Good evening, because it is 4:51 right here. And I'm sure wherever you are, it's probably a different time. But thank you so much for meeting me down here. I love it when we gather and have our conversations. But child, Real Housewives of Atlanta was a hoot this past week. I probably should have ate before I started this live, but I was hungry. Your girl was hungry. Lady Rose Queendom, disclaimer, all things are alleged. Everything in this episode is alleged. It's all in my opinion. And chat, we just down here for entertainment purposes only. That's it. Please show some love and support to the channel. Comment, because I love the engagement and the healthy dialogue that we share down in the comment section. Share this to your Twitter, to your Facebook, any other social media site that you have. Please share it. Please subscribe to the channel, because when you subscribe, it helps this channel grow, and I am trying to grow. It seems like my numbers are they're moving slow, but seem like we're kind of stalled a little bit, but I think we can get those numbers moving again. And tap that notification bell so you'll know when I'm going live. You'll be the first to know. And welcome to Lady Rose Queendom, where you, queen or king, we nurture, we cultivate, and we awaken your inner queendom or kingdom. Child, we are the queendom, believe it or not. We are. You said, yep, a miss. It was a miss. It's 5:51 when you are okay. Thank you, Symmetry. I got 2 gems. Look at God. Look at God. Y'all, we're going to pull out this fair use disclaimer. Some material used in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary. Lord have mercy. I sound like being Crump. Commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Thank you so much, you guys. You know what? That old crazy Kelly girl. He was over there on the show this past week. And she said she didn't, when Portia was giving Phaedra her accolades or how she felt about her at the end, at the birthday party, at the birthday celebration dinner. She was like, oh, they're not even on any social media sites. I didn't see them on any social media. They're not on each other's social media sites. Child, talk about how whack that is. That is so whack. So wickety whack. Anywho, we're gonna get on into the episode, and I'm gonna show you some things a little bit later on. But just to piss the people off that don't really like Portia, child. I got some for them too, because I've been busy today. Here we go. The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 15. Walking the Dead was the title of the episode. Child, when I say this episode was a mess, we're going to get into it because I don't think some of y'all was watching the same episode I was watching. The episode begins with Shamia and Kelly getting out of the Sprinter. Symmetry said they were just on each other's social media on the 4th of July. Oh, we're going to get into that too. We may not get real deep into it, but I'm going to show y'all what things I have found that I love over the years with Frick and Frack. Because I actually, can I be honest? I'm going to be honest for a minute. I actually used to love when Phaedra and Kandi were together. I thought they made a great friendship duo. I was kind of hurt when their friendship kind of fell to the wayside. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I believe Phaedra and Kandi's relationship fell to the side. I think it's because they failed to keep nurturing their friendship, and it just fell to the side. Symmetry said a lot of missed gems in this episode. A whole lot of them. But I really used to love Phaedra and Kandi. I love their relationship. And so when Phaedra picked up a relationship similar to that with Portia, absolutely loved it. In fact, let me show you one of the things, my favorite videos. I'm going to take y'all back to 2016. And I'm going to show you a video that I used to watch pretty much every other week because I thought this was so cute.
At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If the game is on, give me a call, boo. If your love is strong, gotta give my all.
This was at the height of the Frick and Frack friendship. They were good buddies, good friends. Phaedra's children were small at this time. Actually pulled a bunch of videos off of Instagram that I used to, because of course I have been following these two for some years. And one of the things, this actual video that I'm showing you right now is from, as you see, November the 20th of 2016. That's how old this is. But I used to love this. They actually did a tune on TikTok and they put it to music. But this is just someone singing it. But I want you, to me, this used to be so funny.
At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If the game is on, give me a call, boo. If your love is strong, gotta give my all.
These women have been friends for a good while, right? They've been friends for a while. So for people to think that because you don't show your friends on social media that you're not friends, child, they be sorely disappointed in me because my best friend, there may be one or two pictures of her on any of my social media sites. And child, if you find those, you ain't gonna know that she my best friend. Because we don't, that's not how we operate. In fact, she's very social media shy. So it's kind of awkward, to be putting people on social media. But if you look at Portia's page is filled with Portia. If you look at Phaedra's Phaedra's page is filled with Phaedra. So it's kind of weird that people say that. Hey, good evening, all in unity. Thank you for joining the live. Let's get on into it. So the episode begins with Shamia and Kelly getting out of the Sprinter, right? So apparently, last week they had a fight. You said evidently, Kelly was faking the apology to Portia. Definitely, girl. Yes, Brown Girls Right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, she was. She didn't mean a word she said. And I think we could take that all the way back to this season, episode number 2, when it's not all in unity, that's fine. Evening, girl, I be saying afternoon all the time. So you're not in a ball game by yourself. I just made a habit of today when I came on, I was like, evening. I've been saying it to myself because I have a habit of saying good afternoon. And then, girl, I really want to define what is afternoon, because this really is afternoon. This is after 12 o'clock. So it's afternoon. Evening, when does evening start? I mean, that's just potato. Anyway, yeah. But I definitely understand what you mean. If you go back to this season, episode number 2, Kelly and Portia sat down at a table and they actually made up. And they were at a table. Remember, K. Michelle was there. And that's when Portia said, it's mighty strange you're talking about me sleep with married men when you actually slept with that married guy on that plane. Remember that? And they apologized. K. Michelle said, let's toast to this. And so they put their glass up and Portia said, I'm gonna take some sugar. She took a sugar cube and put it in her hand. And she said, because I'm gonna be sweet. And then her and Kelly hugged. But I'm going to tell you this, the troublemaker, because that's what I'm going to name Angela, the shit starter. Angela actually went to Portia and told Portia that Kelly was talking about her and had called her Portia when they went down to the girls' store and was buying clothes. Remember, it was Shamia, Kelly, and Angela. They met up at this little girl store. I think it was like a Mommy and Me store, a boutique, and they were shopping. Now, why they was bringing Missy Angela along is beyond me. But child, they had Missy Angela down there, and Missy Angela went back and told Portia that Kelly had called her Portia. And baby, our best was off after that moment. So let's get on into it. The episode begins with Shamia and Kelly. Okay, let me back it up. So the last episode before Sunday, they had been into an altercation, or not an altercation, verbal debate altercation. Portia and Shamia. Shamia had said that Portia's mom had tried, TRIED, to sleep with her daddy. Okay? And Portia said, that's a lie, because your mama did sleep with your daddy's brother, baby. It was a bunch of mud slanging back and forth. All right? You said, yep, that's why Portia didn't go to the restaurant opening. Exactly. Because they had squashed it then. So this beef between Kelly and Shamia may never be squashed. But can I say something? I'm going to say something. I'm going to say this real loud, real clear. I don't think Shamia's coming back. But that's just my personal opinion. I think that Shamia's time on Real Housewives of Atlanta is over. I think she kind of is like Marlo. They gave you a peach and you couldn't handle it. And I think that's where Shamia is. But I'm gonna tell you why I think that. Brown Girls Rock says Sheree used to do the same thing. She sure did. She was the bone carrier, and Angela's the same way. I like Angela. To be honest with you, I like Sheree. But we're gonna be honest, Sheree's a bone carrier. Baby, she likes to carry those bones. I made this little picture today. I love that picture, Portia. Often imitated but never duplicated. I'm gonna tell you, they all can get it, even Portia. When I start talking about this show, baby, I might like Portia a little bit, but Portia can get this work too. I'm not no Portia fan where I can't call out when she wrong. If you wrong, you just wrong. and that's on all foots. All right. Then for me said, I bet all that blaming was something that happened in early years before kids, and they were told about it. I definitely believe they were told about it. Definitely believed they were told about it. And you're probably right. It probably happened early in life because there are pictures of Diane and Sarah, and they are quite young, very, very young. So let's get on into the episode. So we ended with last episode before Sunday, the confrontation at the table between Portia and Shamia, the conversation. And then Shamia, at the end of the episode, Shamia and Kelly were sitting down in the Sprinter, and Shamia was crying her eyes out. Anyway, so this episode begins with Kelly and Shamia getting out of the Sprinter. Kelly said after dinner she thought it was a great idea to separate Shamia from Portia. She said everybody's not on one accord. Shamia is hysterical and Portia is crazy. And they're in another country and she don't want any issues. So she thought it would be best that they separate. I don't think anybody realized what separation meant, but I'm going to walk you through this one because I don't think people paid this any attention. I haven't heard any person commenting on this show or reviewing this show bring out this one thing. Then she proceeds to tell Shamia, don't let them steal your shine. Girl, ain't nobody stealing Shamia's shine, and Portia ain't crazy. But one thing is, Shamia is hysterical, and she might have flipped her wig a little bit. I don't know why she would flip her wig over a friendship with child. I got a lot of notes over here, so we need to get on through it because we're gonna be down here for a minute. As much as people talk about peace and these transformed people is what Kelly said, they really aren't transformed. And then she said, we also know that hurt people hurt people. Girl, Kelly just rambling, because what does that mean, Kelly? Kelly then tells Shamia that she has kept so many things bottled up between her and Portia. And I said, when? Because that's why she's having these issues. Shamia literally talks too much. Shamia said she just shut down. It's easier for me just to walk away. When has Shamia ever shut down and walked away? Shamia is one of those people who stands in the moment and proclaims whatever she got to say, right? Then Shamia starts the waterworks and says that is why it is so hard for her to confront people, especially people that she loves and cares about, because at what point it's like she just always cares about other people's feelings, even if it hurts her own feelings. Girl, I'm gonna get your ass on somewhere. Sit down. In Shamia's confession, which she loved to go to them confessionals and run her mouth, which is why she stay in trouble. I'm gonna point out everything Shamia done did in this episode, everything Portia, everything everybody did will be pointed out in this episode. Brown Girls Rock says that's her landlord. She had to apply. Definitely, baby. She had to get down there and stroke the landlord's eyeballs and head and tell her exactly what she thought was right or wrong. Because, child, we all know that Shamia definitely, girl, that ain't what you do. I don't care if me and you fight. Baby, you pull out my mama and say something about my mama. It's a wrap. We about to take it. We about to take it to hell. We definitely are. You said it brings up the past. It brings up the past 10 years later. Come on, Brown Girls Rocks. What was your purpose in that? In Jamia's confession, she says that she and Portia were like sisters, and sisters always fight. But her hope was that they would find their place back to each other. But after tonight, she knows that's not going to happen. You might as well, girl, because it ain't going to happen. I promise you that. The scene returns back to the room with Shamia and Kelly tells the scene returns back to the room with Shamia and Kelly. If y'all remember this episode, they're like they're not at the castle, right? I kept thinking they looked like they were in an awkward space. They were not at the castle, okay? Just keep that in the back of your head as we go through this. And the scene returns back to the room with Shamia and Kelly, and Shamia tells Kelly that Portia is never going to meet another friend like her. Baby, I hope she don't. I hope to God she don't. Shamir said, I'm cool on her. And Kelly responded with, absolutely. And she said, I'm cool on her. Yippee, girl. Yippee. Because if you are what a friend is, baby, I hate to be the enemy. Because you, to me, are the epitome of an enemy. Anyway, next, the other ladies are at the castle and they're getting ready to go out for the night. And we see Drew talking to her son Josiah on the phone. And next, in the next room, we see Pinky. She said she just has to be honest, and she's tired of the Portia and Shamia debacle. She said this is supposed to be vacation and it's Phaedra's birthday, so let's pack this thing up and move along. She said because one thing we do, we know how to party. We then see the ladies, they arrive at a club called Coco. I forgot what the last word, but I know it said Coco something. Portia in her confessional tells us that they are going to the hottest club in Scotland. She knows that dinner was crazy, but they honestly came there for three things: to dance, to drink, and to celebrate Fei-Fei's birthday. Cynthia says, does someone from Atlanta own this club? Because it is lit. And the club did look like it was hot. I'm going to tell you something that I also observed at the club scene. Portia is a mood. I don't know if anybody else picked that up, but Portia seems like she may be the life of the party. Because she seemed to, when she was on that dance floor, Portia was just getting there. She's a mood. She's a mood. Anyway, Pinky says she was surprised to see all those black folks. She says, a lot of us in here. Power to the people. Pinky said it feels like Black History Month in Scotland. Back, I thought that was so funny. Symmetry said, based on the videos I saw, they had a ball. It did look like they had a ball. Even if you look at other videos, in fact, I was intending to pull in a video. Who is it in my phone? I don't remember if it's in my phone. Is this the video? Yes, let me pull this in. Just so we'll have it. Give me a second, you guys. When she mentioned her being the life of the party, I thought about it. And yeah, we got to have that one over there too. We got to look at this picture as well. So back at whatever Shamia and Kelly are, Shamia tells Kelly that she wants her to get out and go enjoy herself too. She said, you don't have to sit here and babysit me. And Kelly said, I ain't babysitting you, but I am gonna drag your ass out to this club. You said, now Pinky, right? Pinky crazy. Because guess what? Guess who didn't come to Scotland to have all of this going on? Kelly said in her confessional that they are all the way in Scotland. And if you think she is not going to turn up, then you're crazy. Kelly told Shamia, put that kilt on, girl, and let's go. Back at the club, we see K. Michelle on the mic, baby. K. Michelle done took over the mic. I thought that was too cute, too funny. And she announces that they are going to celebrate someone who's a very special and an amazing person, an amazing friend. And then she announces Miss Phaedra Parks. The DJ begins playing VSOP. And K. Michelle sings with the record. And the mic is on, baby. The mic is on because we hear K. Michelle's voice. K. Michelle, her voice is absolutely amazing. She can sing, but I love listening to K. Michelle sing. Anyway, Phaedra said she would never in her wildest dream think that this little sweet pudding would serenade her on her birthday because she made it perfectly clear that she does not sing for free. Next, in K. Michelle's confessional, she said that Phaedra has some qualities that intrigue her, and she likes Phaedra. I'm glad that K. Michelle actually found someone that she could link up with, especially in Phaedra. And I think a lot of us, we rag Phaedra because of her telling us that she didn't know when she got pregnant or when the baby was due. We rag her because of the incident with Candy for telling those lies. But if we be very honest with ourselves and others, they all lie. Shamia lies, Kelly lies, Phaedra, Portia, Angela, all of them lie. All of them lie. I don't know. I ain't going to say Cynthia lie. But all of them lie. And I think it's so unfair a lot of times. We put, we hold people at a certain level and we don't even offer forgiveness or a bridge to cross that bridge. A bridge to cross it and mend that. I believe that Phaedra's playing it really safe, not talking a whole lot. Yeah. But Phaedra's mature. She's more mature. She's a lady of a certain age. And all they going back and forth is probably beneath her. She's a lady who carries a license, who has a Juris Doctoral, a Juris Doctor degree. She has all these accolades and she has a lot to lose. So I wouldn't let come on a show and allow this show to tarnish my image. We always know that Phaedra's always carried around this Southern Belle kind of aura, or that's who she wanted to her image to be portrayed as, that Southern Belle. And I really think that as a people, we've got to learn to forgive. What do people hold what you did as a 20, 30-year-old over your head for the rest of your life? Child, get out of here. Kelly had to get to that party. She can't afford to miss a scene. Money, money, money. I know that's right, Symmetry. Live For Me said that's one of my all-time fave songs of K. Michelle. Mine too. You said persona. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. She actually eludes and wants to show that she has that Southern girl persona. And I believe that we have to allow grace where grace should be given. It's just, I'll leave it that way. Okay. Next, they played Drew Sidora's song, her new song, Delusional. And Drew was singing to the record as we watched Shamia and Kelly walk into the club. I thought that was so distracting because I really wanted to hear Drew's song, but they kept giving us the scene of Shamia and Kelly walking, and I really didn't like that. But I believe they did that for a reason. They did want to show us how Shamia and Kelly came in, and that Shamia actually walked in front of Portia dancing while Portia was videoing Drew. But we're going to keep on moving. Angela in her confessional said, "What the F is happening? You just said this girl's mother tried to sleep with your father, and you're dancing in her face." Now, we didn't get a chance to see that, not clearly. But if you go back and look at the scene, there's a phone up. You see Shamia walk in. She walks right in front of Portia, and she's dancing, right? Next, we see Phaedra in her confessional saying, to imply that someone's mama is doing something sexually inappropriate, and she's glad that Portia wasn't on that Henny, because anything would have happened. K. Michelle then calls Shamia up to the mic to sing her song. We then see Portia gathering her things, and she tells production that she can't be there with someone who would go so low, be so disgusting. Portia said for her and her growth that she has had, okay, I got to get out of here. And how the God in her has risen, she needs to get the F out of there. We hear Portia say, call me a car. I want to go to the house. Let me say that again. We hear Portia say, call me a car. I want to go to the house. I want y'all to hear one more time what I'm going to say. Portia says, call me a car. I want to go to the house. We see Drew go over to a booth in the dark and say, hey, Portia, I'm looking for you. After Shamia finishes singing, K. Michelle is back on the mic saying the next song is Miss Portia Williams' song. I don't know if anybody was paying attention. Then she said, where is Portia? Portia is still in the club. In fact, Portia has moved from the VIP area where they were sitting to another booth that is completely dark. And she's sitting in the dark with production. I don't know why people want to act like there was something that happened that didn't happen. Portia was still in that building. Still in that club. In fact, all of the women were still in the club. Yes. She said they walked right between Portia and Drew. Thank you, Symmetry. Thank you. Drew had her camera out, and so did Portia. And she walked right between them dancing. Yes, she did. We see Drew and production going out the door of the club, right? We don't see Portia leave the club. We see Portia entering the SUV, but we see production going out the door, and then we see Drew going behind them. Drew said, we are going, let's go. And we hear Cynthia's voice, but we don't see Cynthia. Mind you, Shamia is completely done singing. They're looking for Portia because they want Portia to sing, was that Flatline? And we see Pinky on the mic. Chatting and gave Pinky the mic. And they show us Portia getting into a SUV. Mind you, I'm going to say it one more time for all you slow people who act like y'all ain't got good ass sense. All right? We see Pinky on the mic. That means Shamia is completely finished. And at the same time, we see Portia getting into an SUV. That's what we see. And we see Angela and Drew on the side of the street talking. Portia got into an SUV by herself. That's why I said when Portia said, call me a car, I want to go to the house. She didn't say call us a car, call me a car. Yeah, I think I said flatline. I hope I said flatline. Call me a car. I want to go back to the house. She didn't say call us a car. We saw Portia get in the SUV. They closed the door. Portia was the only person in the SUV when they closed that door. We saw Angela and Drew on the side of the street talking. I don't know where Phaedra went. I don't know where. I can't account for Phaedra. But what I do know is that Portia got in the car by herself. Angela says that was intentional. And Drew said, you walk in after what just happened to someone you called your best friend for over a decade. And Angela said, like nothing is wrong. Drew then tells Angela, we haven't been friends that long, but I offend you. I wouldn't come in with that kind of energy. And Drew says she just don't get it. Then in Drew's confessional, she said that there are some things that just shouldn't come out of your mouth. Like we don't talk about the mamas. And Shamia started this. Excuse me. Shamia started this, and you really can't blame Portia for finishing it. And Angela said, leave my mother out of it. And I totally agree with that. Leave my mama out of it too. You said, right. Angela reproduced a video that showed them still there when Shamia was singing. And I'm going to show you what Angela posted on Instagram. Give me 1 second. She posted this on Sunday night after the episode. Angela Oakley, the lie sounds better if I ran out the door. But the truth is, I ran to the stage to support you. Surprise, you missed me. Cynthia Bailey said, I also stayed and left after her performance was over. But it's all on camera. If you watch the episode, if you sat there and you watched it, it was all on camera. The women were still there when Shamia was singing. Shamia wants all the attention. At any cost, she don't care how many lies she got. She wants all the attention. All the attention. And she had made a whole butt of herself that night. But she wanted all the attention. After calling this girl's mama a HOE, a 504, a garden utensil, she still expected all of these women to put all of their eggs in her basket and listen to her sing. I'm going to tell you this. I'm one of those kind of people. I monitor people, right? So if I'm with you, we're cool. Even if we're not the best of friends, but we cool and we hang out. We go to lunch together. And we do X, Y, Z. We may hit a couple of miles up, may go to a concert or two together. And someone approaches you and says something disrespectful, even if they're part of our clique, I'm going to steer clear of that person, because if they do it to you, they're going to do it to me, right? I ain't going to play with you like that. Good evening. You got to be kidding me. Welcome to the live. I'm not going to play with them like that. I'm not going to do it. So I don't blame any of the women if they did leave, but they did not leave until after Shamia's set was over. They left when they were looking for Portia. All of them, including Portia, left when they were looking for Portia to get on the stage and sing Flatline. Anyway, back in the club, Pinky asked Shamia how she felt. And she said the last time she was around the group, it was really nasty work. So she left. And when she came back, everyone scattered. This is what Shamia said. I'm going to say it one more time so y'all can hear this clearly. Back in the club, Pinky asked Shamia, how you feeling, Shamia? And she said, the last time I was around the group, it was really nasty work. And I came back and everybody scattered. Okay, girl. Anyway, K. Michelle said, I played everybody's song. And Shamia said, but it was my song that they left on. Just lying. Anyway, mind you, they literally showed the ladies walking out after Shamia's song was over. In Shamia's confessional, she said that the fact that Drew, Angela, Cynthia, and Phaedra felt like they needed to skedaddle after a little I'm sorry. Let me back up. Shamia said in her confessional that the fact that Drew, Angela, Cynthia, and Phaedra felt like they needed to skedaddle was a little disappointing. Shamia apologizes to the ladies at the table and says she's sorry about that. And that wasn't her intentions to ruin the night. But you did. You literally ruined the night. Someone's birthday dinner. In fact, you pretty much tried to ruin the trip to Scotland. But child, I'm gonna digress on that and let y'all have it. Because if you don't believe her intentions were nasty work, her intentions were disgusting. Her intentions, she knew what she was doing. And if you keep listening, little nuggets, the Pinky even said it. Yeah, girl, stop crying. Because you knew you did everything you did tonight was intentional. I'm gonna bring that out to y'all. I'm gonna when it comes up, I'm gonna reiterate it so you'll know it. Brown Girls Rock said and totally lied. Definitely. All in Unity says I can't blame Portia. I would have left also. Me too, baby. On two wheels. Let's get out of this bad boy. Then in Shamia's confessional, she said she didn't really have any real smoke with any of the ladies. Right? Now we're pulling out the victim card. Let me put this victim card on the table. I got my victim card. I keep it in my pocket so that when I get down here and I need to play victim in the confessional, I can slap it on the table. Although I get in the confessional and I talk big shit about everybody. But I got this victim card. Just in case I need to pull this victim card out and use it, I'm going to pull my victim card out. I keep my victim card handy, okay? Because I don't really have no smoke with these other women, but they walked out on me. But let me put this victim card down here. And you know what she said? I'm going to back it up. In her confessional, she said, I don't really have any smoke with those ladies. Y'all are part of the litter, of her litter. Let's talk. What is a litter? What is a litter? Dogs have litters. Cats have litters, right? Rats have litters. But she is now calling the women, which will be Drew, Angela, Cynthia, and Portia, Phaedra. Drew, Angela, Cynthia, and Phaedra. She's calling these four women a part of Portia's litter. But she expected these women to stay there because she don't really have no real smoke with them. But let me throw this victim card down and talk about y'all. Let me talk ignorant about y'all because I don't really have no issues with y'all. But I got this victim card where I could be the victim. Let me put it on down here on the table. I'm gonna pick it up when I need it though, and I'm gonna stick it back in my pocket because I'm gonna need my victim card for later. All right, stay with me. She said, like, are y'all just there for the free hair? What is it? Then back at the club, Kelly says the night was ruined, but I don't think it was just one person. And Pinky clocked this. Let me tell you. And I believe it was more said at this moment than what we saw because Pinky had a scowl on her face. Pinky speaks up and says, we didn't come to Scotland for that. And Shamia then says, okay, well, thank y'all for partying with me. And Pinky said to K. Michelle, if we don't remember nothing else from tonight, we're going to remember you. And she pointed at K. Michelle. I want y'all to think about that. I want y'all, if y'all get a chance, y'all rewatch the episode. Normally on Sundays before they play the new episode, they'll play the one previously. On Sunday, rewatch that episode and see if you pick up any of these things. When they're at the club and they're sitting in the corner talking, Shamia, Pinky, K. Michelle, and Kelly, Pinky looks like she has just gotten through reading Shamia the right act. That's when she speaks up and she said, we didn't come to Scotland for that. And Shamia says, okay, well, thank y'all for partying with me. I believe Pinky gave Shamia the lashing that she needed. Something that a mama should have already said to her. You Sergeant Charge said, attention seeking Shamia. Yes, baby. Victim Victim Shamia. Victim Shamia. Let me put this card back in Shamia's pocket because she's gonna need a little bit later on in this episode. Symmetry says she absolutely knew what she was doing. She was waiting on the opportunity to present herself. Ain't that what she said? That's exactly what she said, Symmetry. Those were her words. The opportunity presented itself was her exact words. She said, yeah, I think Pinky is tired of Shamia. I do too. I do too. And I just, by the look on Pinky's face and knowing that more was said in that scene that they edited out, I believe Pinky got into Shamia's behind. Somebody need to, because Pinky, I mean, everybody knew that was wrong. How did this girl mama get into it? And for all you people that's over here doing commentary and you can't see clearly, I don't care how much you hate Portia. I don't care how much you dislike Portia. Right is right. Oh, you talk about Portia. Leave her mama out of it. When you went down to the mama, you was wrong. But the problem is you can't mess with this one. Often imitated, but never duplicated, baby. No. Shamia went and got her whole body done trying to be like Portia. Everybody want to be like Mike. Moving right along. Anyway. And they leave, but apparently they leave in different cars, right? Shamia tells K. Michelle, bye, beautiful. I want y'all to think about something. Did they remove Shamia and Kelly from the house? Now, Kelly said she thought it'd be best if, she took Shamia and leave. But I want y'all to know something. Kelly and Shamia did not spend the night in that house, the castle, no ma'am. They stayed somewhere else. Where they stayed is beyond me, but they did not stay in the castle. I'm going to show you proof in just a second. Right, I did not like the mama coming at all. Me either, all in unity. I don't care who you like, who you don't like. That was wrong on every level of the board. It was wrong. It was just wrong. I'm sorry. It was just wrong. It says the next scene, Scotland, day 3, the Glimmerton house. The ladies are getting ready for the day, and Kelly and Shamia are coming through the door of the castle with the clothes they had on from the previous day and the clothes from the club in their arms. These women were put up somewhere else. They didn't stay at the castle. Let me tell you something. I told y'all this last week, and I guess y'all were listening to me. They're not going to lose Portia for Shamia. They are not. Bravo and Paramount, NBC, whatever them people are, they are not going to lose Portia for Shamia. They're not going to do it. I'm sorry. They're going to protect Portia. Felicia says London thinks any of them stayed at the castle that night. Remember, they packed bags because they were staying at another hotel closer to the club. That may have been the sentiments, but they all were getting dressed from the castle. If you remember, when that's okay, Malicious. That's okay, honey. I read typo. Don't think nothing of it. If you remember, when they get to when Phaedra goes to Portia's room, Portia's actually getting out of bed. She has on her pajamas and she has on a headscarf, right? She literally is getting out of the bed. And then we see Pinky getting dressed and running down there to eat her food. Because she was talking about the food. So they stayed. Only people didn't stay at that house was Kelly and Shamia. They the only two people we saw getting out of a car with their suitcases and their clothes. They were. They were greeted by a woman at the door, and Kelly tells the lady, she's, I can't wait to have some of your coffees. And they show Shamia carrying her LV carry-on upstairs, and Kelly with her clothes under her arm. They showed all that. I believe so. They walked in the house that next morning. Thank you. So somebody else saw it besides me. Brown Girls Rock saw it. That's okay, Belicious, like I said. Now, next we see Pinky in the kitchen. She's eating looks like some fruit. And she's saying Scotland has some really good food, and it don't taste nothing like Kroger's. They show Drew on the phone talking to her daughter, telling her daughter she'll be home tomorrow night. And she's getting glammed up, right? So we do know, this kind of proves to me that those ladies stayed at that house. Shamia and Kelly did not stay at that house. And we see Phaedra coming into Portia's room looking beautiful, and Phaedra had on a Gucci cape. I thought that cape was absolutely gorgeous, and her hair was so cute. When I tell you, this was probably one of the Phaedra always looks good, but that look on Phaedra was absolutely beautiful to me. I love that Gucci cape. I love the way everything to her hair and everything just kind of accentuated each other. Symmetry said, hence the group being separated appeared to be a last minute decision. It absolutely did. It absolutely did. Because I thought they took clothes with them to change for the club, not to spend the night. Right? So maybe they actually had to spend the night, because Portia said in the last episode that they were taking a change of clothes because they would be club hopping, right? So I believe that those women, they may have gotten a hotel room, but Shamia and Kelly ended up probably staying at that hotel. Again, we see Phaedra coming into the room. Like I said, she looked beautiful. Portia was sitting on the side of the bed with her pajamas on and a hair bun on her head. And Phaedra tells Portia that she's going to take some of the girls to the cemetery. And Portia said to Phaedra, girl, I knew you was going to find a cemetery. And Phaedra said, and it's one of the most famous cemeteries there. Portia said, whoever you don't take with you can just go with me. And we're going to go to the spa here on the property. And I believe that whatever happened that night and you can tell me if you disagree, that night at dinner kind of altered the plans for day 3. I do not believe that Portia would have ever taken those girls to find a spa at that place they were staying at, because she knew she would have did more research and knew that it was not up to the caliber of spas that they normally go to. So that's why I said I believe whatever happened at dinner altered the plans for the whole trip, which is why I said I believe Shamia ruined their trip. But let's keep on going. Phaedra in her confessional says that today they're going to split up, and she's going to take everyone to one of her favorite places, the Greyfriars Cemetery, known for burying some of the best people in Scotland. And Portia tells Phaedra, when you're on your way back, text me and let me know. And Phaedra says she's going to take Cynthia, Kelly, and Shamia. Portia sighs, and Phaedra says she wants to have a conversation with Shamia. And she says she thinks they need to be away from there so they can really chat. You said most definitely did. I believe that. I believe that whatever happened at dinner altered the plans for the rest of the trip. I truly believe that. Because remember, this was a trip planned by Portia and Phaedra. And I just believe that whatever happened at dinner just kind of changed that. It's a cemetery, so this is what Phaedra said. It's a cemetery, so we can bury it there. And Portia said it ain't gonna be buried. It's very much risen from the dead. And Portia said in her confessional, she said her mind frame was to move forward, but Shamia was like a snake in the grass and waited for the perfect moment to try and trigger her. Portia then tells Phaedra it ain't worth it. And Portia said they're gonna match energy at this point and probably continue some of the conversations today. And Phaedra then tells Portia that she don't want her birthday dinner to be this type of foolishness. And Portia said, well, it's probably going to be some foolishness, but I'm not going to bring it. You have somebody trying to sabotage, once again, another trip. Phaedra said she is going to see where Shamia is with it. And Portia responded with, okay. Then they show Kelly, Phaedra, Shamia, and Cynthia getting into an SUV, get ready to go to the cemetery. The ladies have some small talk, but you can tell that even in the SUV, there was some tension there. You had Phaedra and Kelly sitting in the back because they're probably are the smallest, the shortest. And then you had Cynthia and Shamia sitting on the second row. Okay. And Cynthia asked Phaedra, where are we going? And Phaedra said it's one of her favorite places to visit when she travels. And Cynthia said, I know it's fabulous, honey. And Phaedra said, it's fabulous, but it's a cemetery. They all started talking about getting out the car. And Shamia says in her confessional that if it wasn't for Kelly going, she wouldn't be going. She could be a witness She said, but Kelly can be a witness. She said, unless they bury her ass too. Girl, nah, girl. You probably be on a plane headed back to the USA. That's the God honest truth. Shamia, if it had not been for Kelly, they probably would have put Shamia on a plane and she probably would have left Scotland on day 2. Or she wouldn't have been with the group. I'm just telling you. I believe that she hit an all-time low. And judging by what's happening, watch what's happening live Sunday with Andy. I wouldn't say she's at the top of this list. Anyway, Kelly said, this is not normal. This is not where she should be. Like, this is not where she would like to meet her next husband or her next man. And Cynthia in her confessional says that Phaedra just has a thing for dead people. She said, but I don't think she eats me like eats them like Pinky says she does. And Phaedra tells the ladies that a lot of famous people are buried there. And Kelly said, like who? And Phaedra went radio silent. Because girl, you don't know nobody buried out there. Anyway, back at the castle, we see Portia sitting at a vanity and she's flat ironing her hair, y'all. And she calls Lauren on the phone. Y'all, this, when I tell you I rewinded and I rewinded and played and rewind and played and rewind and played because I want to get every detail of the conversation between Portia and Lauren because I think it's very important. Felicia says, do y'all think they almost got physical or that was a rumor? Malicious, if they almost got physical, we'll never know probably, or we'll have to wait till the reunion. But what I will say is, you talk about my mama, I probably come across the table. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You talk about my mama, that's my mama. And that's what Mariah Huck said over there on Married to Medicine when what's her name was talking about her mom, when Heavenly was talking about her mama. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming across this table on your ass. I ain't playing with you. All bets are off when you start talking about my mom. I'm sorry. All bets are off. I'm gonna knock your teeth down your throat. I'm sorry. Anyway, back in the castle, we see Portia flat ironing her hair while she calls Lauren. Lauren picks up and asks Portia, what time is it there? And Portia responded with, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. Lauren said, well, it's 8 a.m. in the morning in Atlanta. And she said, right now I have my ugly voice on. And Portia tells Lauren that the whole trip has been great and she's been having such a good time. She said, particularly, the vibe has been good between me and Shamia. Portia says she's been kind of chilling in her own space and she thought Shamia was doing the same thing. Portia then tells Lauren that last night they went to dinner and Shamia starts in on, I heard that you don't want Pilar around me and Gerald. I want to stop it right there. Can we stop it right there? And let's talk a little bit. Let's talk. Let's just talk. I heard a couple of women that are content creators talking about Pilar. Someone call her Pilar. Her name is Pilar. I think Portia calls her PJ. Going around someone who her mother necessarily does not agree with her being around. Now, let's just back up for a minute. Most of us on here are women, and most of us have children. Now, you tell me, you letting your baby go over somebody's house that you know don't like you? Somebody put down in the chat, if you gonna let your baby go over somebody's house that you know for a fact don't like you, and the very fact that they were so willing to get down in the dumps and talk about your mom, you would let them go over to their house. We gonna keep talking. When I tell you, I think that this is one of the sickest things that anybody could say. Are y'all rap tight? Ain't no way some of y'all rap tight. Ain't no way some of y'all got kids. Ain't no way some of y'all elevators go to the top. I'm talking about y'all. They think it's okay that this woman feels like she needs to have some type of connection with Portia's daughter. So much and so that she told Cynthia, it's okay because I still have a connection with Pilar. I still get to see Pilar. In fact, let me keep on reading it. Let me go on through my notes, okay? Burgers Rocks tells malicious 28 that she thinks it was a rumor. I think it was too, and so I hope it was. I hope so. Hope it was. Brown Girls Rock says absolutely not. I know that's right. You got to be kidding me. At Brown Girls Rocks, you here? It ain't happening. It is not happening. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You got to be kidding me. No, ma'am. No, Pam. No. Anyway, Symmetry said that's some weirdo behavior. Thank you. I can't be the only one that thinks that. No, I'm not letting my kid hang out with you. Are you retarded? Are you slow? Do you lick windows for a living? I don't get it. I do not get it. And the women commentators, content creators who are going around trying to justify this, you need your head examined. You definitely do. Have y'all heard of stories of people being jealous of other people's kids cutting their hair, doing all kinds of crazy stuff to their kids at night when they spend the night at their house? Oh, no way. I would never set my child up for failure with you. Are you okay? Well, we're going to move right along because I'm going to get more into why I said what I said. Excuse me. Portia tells Lauren that she was like, bitch, what are you talking about? And Portia said the girls in the group had already told her that she was basically using Pilar for clout. I'm going to say this again. Portia said the girls in the group had already told her that Shamia was using Pilar for clout. Now, you tell me why she wasn't using Pilar for clout. I'm going to tell you what we heard Cynthia say on this episode on FaceTime that was recorded by production. Then in the confessional, we see Portia telling us that off camera, Shamia had been gloating to Cynthia by saying, oh, it's fine for me that she and I aren't cool. I still get to spend time with PJ. Then they pan to a conversation that Portia was having on FaceTime with Cynthia. And Cynthia is telling Portia that Shamia was saying she still has a relationship with Dennis. I don't put a T in his name. With Dennis. Because I want y'all, I'm gonna back, come on, reverse. She still has a relationship with Dennis because means that that's a caveat, right? Because it's a caveat that connects me to something. Not because you want to have a relationship with Pilar, but you have a relationship with Dennis because Dennis connects you to something that you really want to have in your life. I want that to soak into y'all heads. One more time. We still have a relationship with Dennis because that is the only way I get to see Pilar. Bitch, is you cool? Is you cool? Do you need a slapping? Why do you feel like you can dislike this girl's mama, but you're going to keep in touch with the baby daddy so you can get to the daughter? If you really think about that in its totality, that is strange behavior. Not only is it strange, it's a little bit scary. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. But I'm telling you, if you listen to that, the way I heard it, the way it sounded, it makes it sound like you have some ulterior motive with Dennis so you can get to Pilar. That's the way it sounds. And I typed it in my notes just the way Cynthia said it. Cynthia is telling Portia that Shamia was saying she still has a relationship with Dennis because that is the only way she really gets to see Pilar. That ain't your baby. You got two babies. In fact, you're trying to get another baby. So why do you need to see Pilar? Anyway, let me get off my horn because Cynthia done pulled my coattails. She said, LOL, intellectually disabled. I know better than to say that word. I do know better. Forgive me. I didn't mean to say the R word because we don't use the R word in 2026. Maybe we can say intellectually dysfunctional, but any of those things would work. And then it's old Missy said, yes, brown girls rocks. Messy. She said, that's weird. It is, you gotta be kidding me. That's weird. And why is it that people think that that's okay? That's never okay. That you need to have a connection with my child's other parent, knowing that you don't like me. Because that child is one half me and one half him. And you only want a relationship with him so you can see her. Child, you need to check that. Check that at the door. Check that at the door. Symmetry said she said that Portia and her family were generational hoods. If she really believes that, why does she want to be around PJ or Portia? Child. Because she want them too. But you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, back on the phone with Lauren. Wait a minute. Let me go back. Back at the confessional, Portia tells us that any mother, if you're not cool with someone, you wouldn't want your child around them. And then back on the phone with Lauren, Portia says it's not like she was trying to go pick up Shia or Shiloh. Back in the confessional, Portia says, don't use my baby as a flex. Don't do it. Because you out here running your mouth. Your mouth keep getting you in. Shamia, the one thing that's gotten you and Portia in this position you are in right now is your mouth. And you still running. You just got through calling for the women, Cynthia, Phaedra, Drew, and Angela. You just got to call them litter. You said they were Portia's litter. But you expect these folks to accept you with welcoming arms, and you feel like you have some type of right, some type of authority, some type of truth to do the things that you do because you feel like they have wronged you. I think you need to get out your head. That's what I think. I think you need to get out your head. All the Unity says she would not be around my child. No way. I agree with you 100%. Using PJ to get at Portia. That's it, Symmetry. That's it. So I don't blame Portia for telling Dennis, keep my baby from over there. And don't let me tell you no more. Keep my child from over there. Anyway, back on the phone with Lauren, Portia says Shamia turned to her and says to Portia about Shamia's mom saying, so Portia already knows where this started at. Shamia's mom saying to her that Portia's mom wanted to sleep with her dad at some point. Laura says, what the? Because, you know, Lauren's the more reserved one and she don't really cuss like that. She said, what the? Why the hell would she say something like that? Portia said, I don't know. Her dad ain't never had no teeth. Her dad ain't never had no teeth. Why do you think my mama wanted? He never had no teeth. Lauren said, oh, Lord. Lauren said, there is no way I would say anything like that. There's no way. And she said, there's no way I would repeat that in front of anybody, friends or not, to nobody. There's a line you don't cross. And there it is. Portia said, and you crossed it. Lauren responded with, damn. That was too funny, baby. When she said he ain't never had no teeth, girl, I was drinking something. I went, oh my God. In other words, Miss Diane would never. There you go. She would never. Back in the SUV with Phaedra and the ladies, Kelly asked the ladies why they left the party quicker than free Costco samples, which I thought was weird, but y'all go ahead with your analogy. She just says she did not get out of there that quick. She was actually still on the dance floor enjoying Shamia's song, Never Have. Shamia then says to Cynthia that she does appreciate Cynthia at least greeting her, but she was disappointed because she didn't want to come out. I guess she meant she didn't want to come out to the club. I don't know. But she said she was disappointed because she didn't want to come out, and this is the way they treated her. That's what I took from it. She didn't say that. I said it. You can enter what you want to because she did not finish. And I noticed that a lot of times when Shamia's talking, she doesn't finish a complete thought. A complete thought. And I'm going to tell you about that when I go through in her confessional. She's talking so much and she's spitting out so much crap that she never finishes a complete thought. She always stops and never finishes it, which I think is weird. But in this conversation with Cynthia in the van, in the SUV, she said she was disappointed because she didn't want to come out. So I just figured out she wanted to come to the club. She was disappointed because whatever. Anyway, Cynthia in her confessional said that what Shamia is accusing Portia's mom of is so out of pocket. And if there was ever a chance for Portia and Shamia to make up, well, it's gone now. Back in the car, Shamia turns to Phaedra and says, I want to apologize for even ruining last night's dinner. So she knows she ruined last night's dinner, even though she swears that she didn't ruin it. She knows that what she did ruined the dinner because she went there. The conversation literally was going very well until she decided to bring a Pilar. And then when Pilar didn't work with Portia, she went over and threw in her mama. And she knew that wasn't going to work. It started out one way, and she didn't think it was going to go there. And I put in my notes, Shamia has zero accountability. She apologized and is not accepting accountability for what you've done. And I'm going to show you where she has not accepted any accountability. The very fact that she did literally talk to Cynthia about having a relationship with Dennis so she could still have contact with Pilar. She did, in fact, start a conversation at that table about Pilar and about Miss Diane. She started that conversation. And if we go back, let's take it all the way back to where the conversations about mothers came up. It came up in a conversation between Shamia and Cynthia. And when Portia watched the episode of them talking, Portia took to her Instagram and she typed in the comment that they shared on the screen. But Shamia wants to overlook what she said about Portia's mom and only look and zone in on what Portia said. And because people have so much hatred for Portia, as though Portia slept with their man, as though Portia took their house, as though Portia said they had a dungeon and that they wanted to hug her and drag her down to the dungeon with them and their husband. Because they lack that, or they believe that, they tend to not see the fact that Shamia has started this entire debacle between her and Portia. If you ask me, I do believe that Portia said that she didn't want Shamia on the show. I do believe that. I believe it 100%. But I also believe that Portia was willing to play nice with Shamia on the show. And Shamia couldn't stand the fact that she could not have that closeness with Portia after Portia realized she was talking about her behind her back with the rest of the cast. And I don't blame her, not one bit. Symmetry says she lacks self and social awareness, child, and accountability. Moving right along. But it did. And I apologize for that, is what she told her. She said she didn't think it would go there, but it did. And I apologize for that. But apologizing and never accepting responsibility for what you did is really, really weird. Simply said, I believe that she said it early on. That she said, that Portia said that. I do too. I believe that last season, because Portia really showed it last season. At the beginning of the season, she showed that she really didn't want Shamia on the show. So I do believe that. But they also talked about it, right? And I believe once they talked about it, it should have been resolved. But it wasn't until Brent Eady brought, because I'm going to walk y'all through this thing. Brent Eady sat down with Portia and she said, I saw the text messages. Shamia shared with me the text messages between you and your Portia said it was her therapist, but I want to say she actually thought it was the attorney, right? And so she said, was this before or after we stopped talking? And she said, it was recently. So Britt Edie let her know Shamia's still been running around here, running her mouth about you, even though y'all done sat down and call yourselves squashing it. But then here goes Shamia at the reunion. You didn't want me on the show, but you on the show. And then you come back this year with the same bull swanky. So apparently you can't move forward. And since you can't move forward, we're going to have to throw you from this train. And I believe Bravo is getting ready to send Shamia over to the exit section, honey. I believe she about to exit stage left. I do believe that she won't. I hope she don't get a return. And if she do, they gonna have to do something with her. They gonna, because believe it or not, and I'm gonna say this with all this. I'm not gonna read no comments right now because I'm gonna get this off my chest. I want y'all to understand one thing, and I think y'all probably know this. Shamia is the ultimate housewife. She has all the things: the rich husband, the beautiful home, the family. She is the ultimate housewife. If you look at housewife standards, if you judge by Orange County, what's the California, Beverly Hills, Miami, all of the housewives, she fits the bill. She fits the bill. So why is it that she has such a thirst to be liked? I can't even say she wants to be the top girl. I think she just wants to be liked by everybody. Everybody's best friend. And if you notice last season when she came on the show, her what do you call it? Her tagline, or what she said when she sat down, was, I am the nucleus. I am the glue that keeps everybody together. I am from Atlanta. I know everybody. But she's actually the ultimate housewife. But instead of Shamia showing us what a housewife do, I said this last week, honey, she needs some pointers. She needs to ride on down to Toya Harris's house, Toya Bush Harris, and let her show around for the day what housewives do. They play tennis. They ride around in a golf cart. They take their children to school. They pick their kids up from school. They sit by the pool. They clean the house a little bit, go up in the elevator to their closet. Those are the things that they do. But Shamia, that is not what she wants. She is the ultimate housewife, and she is sitting out here fumbling the bag. How do you fumble that bag when you are the ultimate housewife? You have exactly what they are looking for, and you out here effing up. Anyway, Ali Unity said, honestly, I can understand why Portia would not have her on that show. Me too. Me too. Symmetry said, apologies without changed behavior means absolutely nothing. Hey, Queen Scrib. Hey, sweetheart. Welcome in. He said Britt thought it was the attorney, but Portia confirmed it was her therapist. Yes, Symmetry. Yes, ma'am. Sergeant Charge Eddie Cohen confirmed Portia wanted Shamia on the show. He did, but Shamia came back this season to try to make that man out to be a lie. Now that's just what, there's neither here nor there. I may have to change my mic in just a minute. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. Hey, Passion. You said good afternoon, Lady RHOA and Symmetry and All in Unity and everyone. Number 9 in line was waiting for your take on things, especially unspoken occurrences. All of you. Good evening, Symmetry. Passion. How are you? Where was I at, child? Ooh, honey. When I tell you this episode is so thick and so deep, we already an hour and 13 minutes in. Back in the SUV, Phaedra and all the ladies, Kelly asked her why. We were there already. So she said she was disappointed because she didn't want to come out, and Cynthia in her confessional said that what Shamia's accusing Portia's mom of is so out of pocket that if there was ever a chance for Portia and Shamia to make up, that it's over. Back in the car, Shamia turns to Phaedra and says, I want to apologize for ruining last night's dinner, because she knew she ruined it. And it all started out one way, and she didn't think it would go there, but it did, and she apologized for that. I said, what kind of apology is that, but girl? Okay. Shamia then said she wanted to give some context to understanding as to how things are growing and just festered to the top, and it is glorified. Now, why did she use the word glorified? I don't know, because I think she feels like everybody's piling up on her unjustified. But Shamia does not see that she's been messing with these people and saying all kinds of crap. She definitely has. Anyway, Kelly says it's a buildup. Kelly, you shut your mouth. You sit back there in that backseat and just shut up. Shamia then turns to Phaedra in the backseat and says that Portia made a public post about her mom. Girl, we done heard about this public post, but tell us about how you sat down with Cynthia. And that's why the public post came out. You're not dumb. You know how this happened. You know exactly how this happened. You said the post went viral and her mother was already going through a lot of health stuff. But what does that have to do with Portia? Portia ain't put your mama through nothing. She didn't take your mama's health away from her. Anyway, it was just like, damn, you're talking about my mom. And the opportunity presented itself last night because they started going back and forth and they both were slinging mud. I want y'all to hear it one more time. This is what Shamia said. And the opportunity presented itself last night. Didn't that sound like it was premeditated? But child, who was I to judge? Anyway, Shamia said she wasn't making excuses for it, even though that's what it sounds like to me. But girl, go ahead and continue. And she said, what she said, she said what she said, and then Portia went to hell. Cynthia was sitting next to Shamia, looking at her from head to toe, like, girl, shut up. Because that's not how that happened. She forgets that all these people were around and they all saw this interaction between her and Portia. Everybody's not going to agree with you when you're wrong. Only Kelly's going to agree with you when you're wrong. I'm sorry. How exactly did she think it was going to go? Like, please, exactly, Brown Girls Rocks. Woo, honey, back at the house. Portia's still talking to Lauren. And Lauren said that was really personal and the shit is not fucking true. Portia then says, and you tried to say that my mom was trying to sleep with your dad when your mom actually did blank with her damn husband's brother? They had to bleep it out. Lauren said, you got 2 nuclear bombs. I'm not throwing a nuclear bomb at you because you're going to throw one at me and now we're both going to be unalived. Portia said exactly. Because she said Lauren because she said, and then I'm sorry, Lauren interrupted her and said, we're hurting ourselves here. Portia said, yeah, what are we doing? And Lauren said, because now y'all are really going to go back and forth. This is somebody that knows you very, very well. So she knows that she can rile you up and get you to react and get you to look like you're on the offense and she's on the defense. When I tell you, Lauren took Portia to task on this phone, she said, the best thing you can do is not play into it. And Portia said, the high road is beyond me at this point. The high road is beyond me at this point. See what you said? They weren't going back and forth. Shamia lunched the first mud pot. Child. Exactly. Passion said, I believe it may have been years ago that P and Shamamia had that talk about Portia's boundaries about show. Years later, clearly Shamia didn't respect it and she got a peach and expected respect. I agree. I do, but here's the thing. I do believe that the conversation happened. And I'm going to tell you why I believe it. I believe it because Kenya also said she witnessed it, right? And it's okay. I want Portia to know it's okay. It's okay to not want people to invade something that you have. I want you to just, and I'm not saying this is true, but this is just something I thought about today. Portia's body is done. Portia's always been, had a little thick behind her, but we know that Portia's had some mommy makeover done. So, of course, Shamia had to go get her a mommy makeover. She came back this season looking like, even though last season her body was good, she came back this season looking totally different. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm wrong. Portia started on Dish Nation, I want to say 2016 or 17. And Shamia got with Candy to get her on Big Tigger. Now, I ain't trying to say that she a gold digger. But I ain't trying to say that she's destiny swapping. I ain't trying to say that she's trying to take the girl place. Ain't that a coincidence? I don't know. Broncos Rock said, I like Lauren. Me too. I agree at passion. You said, I'm glad she called Lauren the vent. That seemingly calmed her momentarily down. I agree, passion. I agree. But you notice when Portia pulled Kenya to the floor, and they played, somebody done pulled that up. And I'm going to talk about it because I said I was going to talk about it today. When Portia pulled Kenya to the floor at that time, when Kenya pulled that scepter in her face, she pulled her to the floor when she moved, when they separated them and put Portia in another room. Portia said, I want my sister. I want my sister. I want my sister. Can somebody get my sister? I need my sister. Get my sister. She was saying it frantically. Get my sister. I need my sister. Somebody get my sister. Get my sister. Shamia came through the door. Shamia said, well, I don't mean to be telling you, saying I told you so. And she went on and on and on. Portia looked upside Shamia's head. She said, I need my sister. Because I don't need to hear that right now. I need my sister. I need somebody who's going to calm me down because right now you're infuriating me. But y'all moving right along. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You said now she's on the Ricky Smiley show. Girl, she'll go anywhere that's going to give her, some notoriety. Because, baby, when I tell you she is one that's chasing the fame. She is. And Shamia may never admit it, but Shamia is chasing the fame. It has nothing to do with money. She's chasing the fame. She wants to be famous. That's why she says she's everybody's best friend. People can say what they want to. And I actually loved Shamia up until this season. Absolutely love watching her on Instagram with her family and her kids. But I believe this is the core of who she is. I really believe this is who she is. You got to be kidding me. Since baby Portia made my day when she yanked Kenya mine too. Girl, let it be known, baby. I was like, get her again. Pop that ass. Because I'm going to tell you, Kenya was asking for it. I'm not saying that anybody deserves to be here because I don't believe that adults should fight. But that scepter in her face, it was just too much. Kenya, what were you doing? What were you doing? No. And Shamia was regurgitating what Candy said about Phaedra. Definitely. And I'm going to tell you this too. I believe Shamia has also been running Portia's business back to Candy. But you didn't get that from me. Anyway. Back in the SUV with Phaedra and the ladies, Phaedra said, children and mamas are certain stuff. Certain stuff like that is very triggering to people. Phaedra then adds that she just didn't know if it was appropriate for the group to know about that kind of stuff. That's what she's going very light on Shamia, but she's standing firm on what she's talking about. Phaedra in her confessional said that Portia and Shamia have been the best of friends and she isn't sure where the demise has happened because Shamia has definitely been stirring the pot. Shamia told Pinky that Phaedra said she ate meat when in fact it was Kelly that said it. Shamia said something to Angela's daughter that was inappropriate. Phaedra said she is just keeping up friction among the group. Someone said mamas are off limit. Shamia then said she often feels, I don't know who in the car said it. I think it was Kelly that said mamas are off limits. Someone said it. Someone in that car. It was only Cynthia, Kelly, Phaedra, and Shamia in the car. But someone said mamas are off limits. Shamia said she often feels like in this group that when people do things to her, no one says anything. It's quiet, but when she gets her lick back or she does the same thing, it's like, oh, Shamia, you went too far. So I want to know exactly what is she talking about. If she's talking about that Angela situation, I don't think anybody agreed with Angela coming over there talking about Shamia has slept with George. I don't think anybody did. But I think at this point, because Shamia runs her mouth so much, no one is willing to speak up for Shamia. Y'all tell me if y'all think something different. But I really think at this point, no one is willing to speak up for Shamia because her mouth is always running and talking about people. And so I think people are just sick of her. You get what you get. You stir up the pot, they stir up the pot. The mess with Drew, the mess with Angela. You keep stirring the pot. These people are tired of it. It says, sorry for missing your name. I'm sorry. Hey, boo. They speaking. I need to stop multitasking, girl. Y'all talking to each other. Okay, let's move forward. Cynthia said, she chimed in, and she said, well, I can tell you this. Last night, had Portia brought up the moms, she said, I would have defended you. Shamia then said, but she did, and nobody called me and said, are you okay? Cynthia said, at the table. And Shamia said, I'm talking about in the world. See what I'm talking about? How delusional this girl is? Yet and still, you had a whole conversation on camera with Cynthia. And after the show aired, Portia took to Instagram and replied with that text that we saw that said your mother did something that was very egregious to her mom. But you did something that was very egregious to Portia's mom. It wasn't the moms doing anything. You did something egregious now to Portia's mom. You did it. You did it. Not anybody else. You did it. Okay? You did it. Because Portia just said that she just made a statement. You actually did the deed. But let's move on ahead. Cynthia said in her confession, well, damn, girl, I didn't know you was holding that much in. Cynthia said that she thought they had a reset on last year. I think we all did. They show a montage of last year's reunion. Cynthia said Shamia isn't going to let it go. And that makes her very uncomfortable. I'm going to say that again. Cynthia said that she thought they had a reset last year. So they show a montage of the reunion. They setting this girl up to be put off this show. I'm telling you right now. Because ain't nobody going to want to film with her. They showed a montage of last year's reunion. Cynthia said Shamia isn't going to let it go. And that makes me very uncomfortable. Shamia then says, I'm just telling you what you're not seeing. I think we all see it. Anyway, back at the castle, Portia's still on the phone with Lauren. She says all she could think about is, are you destiny swapping with motherfuckers? Lauren says, right. Then Portia said, it's something deeper than someone marrying someone. Lauren said, like getting close. Portia says, yeah, when it gets to this level of seediness, it feels like a destiny swap. Lauren said, it's crazy to say. Portia said, honestly, she don't know what is going to happen today. All of this is created by, or was created by Shamia. Portia said she's okay. What to do? Can she handle faking the vibe? Portia then says she can't. Lauren said to Portia, you don't have to say that. Portia then said, not after this. It's a little too motherfucking soon. Portia said all she knows is not let's see what's gonna happen. I mean, Portia said all she knows is not let's see what's gonna happen. And Lauren said, Jesus. But I think they must have spliced that up and edited it very well. Because why in the world would Lauren say to Portia, you don't have to say that? Why would she say that? Because Portia was saying to herself, is she okay? What to do? Can she handle faking the vibes? And then Lauren just said, you don't have to say that. Portia said, not after this. It's a little too motherfucking soon. I think production's playing in our face a little bit too. Passion said, I think it had a lot to do with calling her mom. I hope her mother didn't encourage that way to handle it. I think her mom did too. I said last week that I believe, Passion that it had a lot to do with her mom. Next thing, Portia's asking the ladies that are still at the house if they were ready to go to the spa. We see them walking the property, and Drew asked Portia, "Are you sure it's this way?" And Portia, laughing, said, "Yeah, I believe it is." And Portia says she's ready to relax in Scotland. Portia says she thinks it's been a little turned up. And the women said it looks like they're taking a trap because they're walking the property, child. It looked pretty scary if you ask me. Portia takes the women through a tunnel And Portia in her confessional said she is about to take the ladies around back to the spa on the property. They have on heels while they walk this property, and heels is beyond me. And they're in the woods. Pinky says it has given her the Blair Witch Project. They finally stumble upon a sauna. Pinky said, "This is beautiful," sarcastically. And Angela said, "These are not the accommodations that I'm used to. This is not a spa." They also found a hot tub, and Portia said it was too hot. She actually stuck her foot in it. And Drew, in her confessional, says this cannot be pampered by Portia. Pinky said they would catch pneumonia trying to do this. Portia said at least they saw all the amenities. Pinky said, "Yeah, we came, we saw, and we conquered." Portia said, "Okay, y'all, let's go inside." Pinky said she was hungry and wanted to eat for real. Portia said in her confessional that this was not the best idea. She tried it, but next time they'll just have to go to the Four Seasons. I thought that was funny though. The spa trip through the woods was definitely a last minute change. Definitely, because there's no way those ladies would have had everything set up and knew exactly what was going to be happening. There's no way they would have set that up and just walked through the woods. She said, "Pinky is hilarious. I like her." Me too. I think Pinky's growing on me. At first, I'm going to tell you what I don't like about Pinky. I don't like the fact that we have to hear so much about her riches and her bankruptcy, because I don't think those two go in hand in hand. So I really wish she would kind of switch up that. But I actually like Pinky. She's grown on me. Next, we're at the cemetery with Phaedra, and they have a tour guide named Jamie. He introduces himself to the ladies. He asks them what brings them to the cemetery, and Phaedra tells him that she's a mortician / funeral director, and she loves a good cemetery. Phaedra tells Jamie that she knows that this is one of the most famous cemeteries because of Harry Potter, which is a fictional character. But girl, go ahead. Then Shamia speaks up like she always does, because she always got something to say. And I said, this is what gets her in trouble. And she says that Phaedra wants to have her birthday party in the cemetery. Sometimes your sarcasm is needed, especially when you've been in trouble with the group. Sometimes it's just best to shut up. Phaedra in her confessional says that J.K. Rowling drew inspiration from Greyfriars Cemetery because we walked through and looked at headstones, and he walked through and looked at headstones, and it inspired him. Jamie said it's nice to find somebody who's interested. Phaedra talks about Bobby the dog, says the legend says he missed his owner so much. I really don't want to go over this part. Chad was in the cemetery. They went back they tell him about people would dig through. Let me finish reading it then, child. What was that? Phaedra talks about Bobby the dog. She said legend says he missed his owner so much after the owner died that the dog sat by the owner's grave for 14 years, and they showed the monument for Bobby the dog. Phaedra said this was almost better than Christmas. Jamie then tells them the history of the cemetery and that people would pillage through the cemetery and dig up recent buried people and sell them to the medical schools as cadavers. Jamie also said that the cemetery is also famous for two serial unalivers, William Burke and William Hare. They were the first recorded serial illers, or unalivers. And Phaedra's out walking in heels in the cobblestone, and she's walking arm in arm with Jamie. The ladies think that Phaedra has latched onto this man. And Cynthia said, if Phaedra planned a date with this man and just bring us along in case it didn't work out. Anywho, girl, I'm glad we got through that. Back at the castle, the other ladies are sitting around a fire with blankets, and they're talking. Pinky said that she had such a good time yesterday. And Drew said, thank you for showing so much love with my music. Drew said that meant everything to her. And I believe it or not, I really believe Drew meant that. She seemed genuinely happy that K. Michelle actually accepted her music, because we know K. Michelle has a beautiful voice, is a great singer. So I think that made Drew feel good. K. Michelle said she wishes, Drew the best in her music because she knows that doing music can be a difficult thing. Kay said that she pokes a little fun, and that's just what she does. And K. Michelle said in her confessional that she has had her issues with Drew, but it also felt like it just wasn't right, and she don't live in a place of hate. Pinky said she's happy they were all engaging. Pinky said, hey, Portia, we were singing along in the club without your ass last night. Portia said, I know. And Pinky said, so what happened? Because she took the whole club with you. Portia said, I saw them I saw them when they walked in, and at that point, she hadn't had a moment to decompress or digest anything. Portia said, it's one thing to know how she is, and it's another thing to think that you know how someone else is. Then there's her being unpredictable. Portia says she could have never predicted what happened at dinner last night. In the confessional, Portia said that she was there when Shamia gave birth to her daughter, and Shamia was there when she gave birth to her daughter. So this all came out of nowhere. Portia said since she has been there with Shamia in Scotland, that she had let her guard down. She said she was like, let's just go, have a good time. But in the middle of her being open, Shamia tried to trigger her. Drew then tells Pinky and K. Michelle that they've been getting to know Shamia. How do they feel about her? So now we don't ask Portia where she went, but now Drew's opened that door with Pinky and K. Michelle, and she goes, how y'all feel about it? Tell us that. And Pinky said that she's noticed some changes in Shamia. Pinky said when they were at the airport, she was talking to Shamia, and she asked her if she was ready for the trip. And Shamia said she was ready for whatever is ready for her. Portia said, what was that energy? Angela said, that is a lot. K. Michelle said, to come like that, she was shocked because the conversations have been, I'm hurt, even to tears, about her friendship with Portia. Portia then said, when she tells you she's been chilling and she was there. So if she wanted them to be back or even start that leg, they were on their way. K. Michelle said in her confession that Portia was lying. And I'm going to tell you this, I agree with K. Michelle. I don't believe Portia was ready to rekindle a friendship with Shamia. I think maybe if there have been some sit downs, some conversations had, maybe so, but just the way they were at that moment, I don't believe that. So I kind of agree with K. Michelle a bit. She said that she had spoken to Portia several times, and she never said that she was going to try to make amends with Shamia. So K. Michelle said, save that crock of shit for somebody else, not me. Pinky asked Portia how she felt. Was she angry? Was she sad? Or is she over it? Portia said it was disappointing, and that she was, of course, disappointed. I'm looking at somebody who really hates me. Pinky said, hate is a strong word, though. And Portia said, hate. Then Portia said, if you wanted your friendship back with me, when you could have gotten it back here, and then she said, in Swits, and then they all started laughing. She said, where are we at? And Pinky said, we are far, far away. Portia said, you could have gotten it across the pond. I'm sorry. You could have gotten it back across the pond. We go back to the cemetery. Jamie showing the ladies the gates, where behind the gates was the world's first concentration camp. It was used in 1679 to hold 1,200 prisoners. You were either with the king or against the king. If you were against the king, you got high treason. Shamia then goes into her confessional and says, and I quote, damn, actually, this is kind of sounding like Portia. Now I understand why they brought me here. If I go against your queen, then you're going to throw me under. Got it. Y'all think Shamia continuously buries herself or digs a hole in the ground with her mouth? Y'all see that? No one else is creating friction with people and then continuously going in their confessionals talking high trash. Not like this. Anyway, Jamie then tells them a story about strange occurrences, and they performed an exorcism, and that the man who performed the exorcism was found unalived a week later. Kelly then says she wasn't going in, and she had enough exorcisms with her ex-husband. Phaedra and Cynthia go back behind the gate. Kelly says she is convinced that she has a voodoo doll out there, and then she asks whoever has it if they would at least let her stomach pouch out of it. I thought that was kind of funny. Phaedra went inside, and she said all she could hear was the dying echoes of Portia and Shamia's friendship. Then Phaedra said, rest in peace. Outside the gate, Kelly asked Shamia how did she feel the conversation went in the car. Shamia said it was easier for her to just apologize. So that let me know that she didn't really mean that. She did that apology meant absolutely nothing. If it's easier for you just to apologize instead of sitting in what you just said and owning it. So I'll just apologize because that'll get me out of it instead of me walking through this situation and seeing my part versus always seeing someone else's part. Anyway, no matter, even if I didn't feel like I was wrong, Shamia said she has found a little bit more peace and light in just being truthful and just saying what she feels. Although she just said she finds it easier to apologize. That's not being truthful. That's not being truthful, girl. But you go ahead with your little menage a trois you got going on in your brain. Even if it hurts people's feelings, Kelly said at the end of the day, all of those things are touchy subjects. Then in Kelly's confessional, she said that Shamia's beef with the group, she thinks is all of them taking on Portia's beef. And I put in quotations, I think Kelly smokes Shamia's undies in her spare time. I believe that's what she does because that didn't make a lick of sense. Then back with Shamia, Kelly. Kelly said, you can put one thing on the table and leave another thing. You can't put one thing on the table and leave another thing on the table. Kelly, back in her confessional, said, people are not looking at the facts. People are looking at the person who has been there for a very long time and been known for lying, and all the ladies run with it, and that bothers her. I want to know. I'm gonna ask y'all. I want to know. Because I want y'all to hear this one more time. Kelly says you can't put one thing on the table and leave another thing on the table. And then Kelly went into the confessional and said, people are not looking at the facts. People are looking at the person who has been there for a very long time and has been known for lying, and all the ladies run with it, and that bothers her. Now, you tell me what Portia done did to you this season. Besides call you a hobbit, called you out for going on the after show saying that she shouldn't be sleep with married men. And then she told you would sleep with married men. But it's okay for you to run around and do what you do, but can't nobody come back at you. I'm not saying Portia was right. I'm not saying Portia was wrong. What I'm saying is fair play deserves fair play. Am I right or wrong? I believe fair play deserves fair play. And I believe that Kelly is mad. She has been gunning from Portia since the day she stepped on this show. From the day she stepped her little self on this show, she's been gunning at Portia. So I really want to know, what is Kelly's issue, real issue with Portia? Kelly, back with Shamia, says she don't know what the future holds for Shamia and Portia. And she really thinks that is only a conversation that she really thinks that it's that only a conversation from Shamia and Portia for them to have, not for anybody else to be involved. Shamia said, yeah, and if we don't have it, that's fine. Then we see Phaedra and Cynthia return to the group. Child, when I tell you, Portia don't want to talk to you, and that's why she said we don't have it, that's fine, because she knows that Portia's not going to talk to her. They should have played delusional at this point. Definitely. They should have had Drew with a mic, baby, just singing her heart out. You start laughing. Burgers Rocks. I really do think Shamia's been telling Portia's business to Kelly. Definitely. She told everybody else. You think she was going to skip Kelly? Kelly knows more. She knows more than everybody else. Kelly has only been there a year or so. Only a year. One season. What she's trying to make sure she can renew her lease. Bye, Felicia. That's it. Back at the castle. Portia tells the ladies that she has a surprise. She takes them to a secret room that will be prepared tonight for Phaedra's dinner. The room looks like a library. Picky pulls down this book from the bookshelf, and Angela says, girl, we can't be touching these. And Portia said, oh yeah, put that back. Portia then says, the only book that we need to be touching is the Holy Bible. And she pulls out a Bible from the shelf, and you hear some gospel music playing. The ladies who went to the cemetery are headed back to the castle, and Shamia asked Phaedra, how does she feel about her next spin around the sun? And Phaedra tells her, she said, I like to just sit back and do my planning. Shamia asked Phaedra, how is co-parenting with Apollo? And Phaedra says they talk when they need to talk or have to talk. Shamia then asked Phaedra if it was hard for her to start dating after the divorce. And Phaedra said she really didn't. She said that she's really has only really had 2 boyfriends in 7 years. Cynthia, who was pretending to be asleep in her confessional, said bullshit to Phaedra's 2 boyfriends comment. Phaedra said she isn't that girl that jumps into quick relationships. And Cynthia in her confessional said that she sees out in wigs and very sexy tight clothes. Somebody been in between them thighs. They just don't know who it is. We see Portia calls Phaedra, and Phaedra says they're about 5 minutes away. And Portia says 5 minutes, and they scurry off to get ready for the birthday dinner, y'all. Let me see if I can pull. Did I pull it up? I did. Okay. We see the ladies getting ready. They're getting their sashes put on. Everyone looks so good. Some wore sashes, some didn't. All the ladies are gathered around. Cynthia tells Angela, Drew, and Kay Michelle that they had a talk while headed to the cemetery, because actually Cynthia, Angela, and Drew and Kay Michelle were the first ones in the little seating area. So they kind of sat around, and Cynthia told her, they had a talk while headed to the cemetery with Shamia about what transpired the night before. And Shamia said that she doesn't feel supported. She said she can't win for losing kind of thing. Cynthia said she had to remind Shamia that what she was saying wasn't true because she don't have an issue with Shamia. Then Kay Michelle speaks up and says, that is what pulls on her heartstrings. Kay Michelle says, that's what pulls on my heartstrings. She said, I don't want anyone to feel like they're being bullied or that they're being left on an island alone. While they're talking, Pinky comes in and she looks really nice. I thought Pinky's black, sparkly, looked like a 2-piece of shirt and a skirt. I thought it looked very nice on her. She looks very nice as well. Then we see Shamia and Kelly walk in together. I have no idea what Shamia is wearing. It's a cute little outfit, but that sash didn't go in those silver, them boots, them thigh-high boots, whatever, knee-high, whatever boots, them boots. You should have left the space shoes at Star Trek. You shouldn't have brought them on the show because, child, I didn't think they were cute. Like I said, the outfit was cute, but the mirror boots was a hot mess. I'm sorry. He said, Shamia has told the Candy Coated Clique and everyone that will listen Portia's business. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Agree with every bit of that. Child. So everybody's sitting in there and they're waiting. And then enters Portia looking gorgeous in a white bodycon dress, baby. Looked like it was leather. Let me show y'all this dress. Let me show it. Because when I tell you she looked good, Portia looked good. We're gonna play no music, y'all. Come on, show it to him one more time, Portia. They can't see you, girl. Come on back in here. One more time, show it to him. Portia got the body. She got the hair. She looked, when I say Portia looked good, it looked like it was her birthday, but it was not her dress. It wasn't her birthday, I'm sorry. She had on a beautiful dress with sleeves and a beautiful wig. Portia really, she pulled that one off. Portia walked in and stood right next to where Shamia was sitting and then walked in front of her because Cynthia was like, come on through and show me the fit. Honey, she walked right in front of Shamia, turned. She said, turn, baby, so I get a good look at it. So Portia turned, honey. And Angela said, baby, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. We see Phaedra come down the staircase in a beautiful white dress with like a fur cover over. I don't want to say cover, but like I don't know what you would call it, a duster maybe that was white furry. We see her coming down the staircase and just beautiful. They surprised Phaedra with a beautiful dinner. She was happy indeed. Phaedra mentions that she and Cynthia started on this Real Housewives of Atlanta together in 2009. And Cynthia said it's been a crazy ride. And since they started this journey together, that she has always felt a bond with her. Although they were somewhat of a slow burn, Cynthia loves where she and Phaedra are today. Cynthia says she respects Phaedra's resilience and she has seen her go through a lot, and she literally smiles while watching Phaedra soar because she makes it look so good. And she ended it with happy birthday to you. I thought that was one of the cutest and the sweetest sentiments that someone could give you on your birthday. Right? I thought it was so heartfelt. You said it was fake leather. Yeah, I thought it was some type of leather or shiny. It was beautiful though. It was super pretty. It was better than the fake black leather that Kelly wore. Ooh, right, symmetry. You right about that. You could have bought Shamia and Kelly with a penny. Brown girls rock. When I tell you I'm telling you, Shamia was back over there gulping that wine again when they, instead of sipping, she was, because they was too much for her. Back at the table, then Portia says, now Portia will speak. Portia says that she and Phaedra have been through so much together. They have the best memories. The things that Portia has been through silently, and the moments she needed someone when she couldn't call anybody, and how Phaedra showed through. She's been a lovely friend. Shamia takes to the confessional once again to shade Portia and Phaedra. Shamia says, so y'all best friends? Portia wasn't even at your wedding. Girl, what's happening? Shamia, come here, girl. Come here. I'm about to thump you in your ear. Why does it matter? You're the only person who goes around finding best friends. Portia never said best friends. Let me keep on going. Back to Portia's toast to Phaedra. Portia told Phaedra that she knows they've had some bumps. It didn't take no long, deep this and that. They just came back together. Angela in her confessional said that Portia put some juice on that. Angela said that Portia is trying to convince all of them that Shamia never mattered. I'm going to talk about this. Let me get on through it, though. Kelly chimes in and says that this is very calculated. And if you go to social media, you don't see these ladies hanging around each other. That's what Kelly said. This is what Kelly believes. This is what's in her brain. Like they don't. Back to Portia's speech, because these people keep interrupting with whatever they got to say. And this is a picture I took from Portia's page. It's just the first one I saw. I got several pulled up, but this is just the first one I saw when I got ready to share. I believe that's Portia, and I believe that's Phaedra. Y'all tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I believe that's Portia, and I believe that's Phaedra. And it says, Portia for real, frick and frack reunion went crazy. The word of the night. But they don't have each other on social. Girl, shut up and sit your. Okay, don't say that. Anyway, moving right along. Back to Portia's toast to Phaedra. Child, or her speech. Portia says she will forever celebrate Phaedra, and she has a gift for Phaedra. It's a proclamation that Phaedra is officially the Lady of the Glen. Shamia in her confessional says, "What is Lady of the Glen? Can I Google it? Will her name come up? And will it say Lady of the Glen? Let me Google it." Drew in her confessional says, "What is a proclamation? I know it means something of high honor." Cynthia in her confessional says, if she had known that Portia was giving Phaedra a plaque for her birthday, she would have saved some money. Back in Shamia's confessional, she says, "Nope, it's not coming up." Phaedra tells, I don't know if it's just me, but Shamia's jokes and reads always fall flat. They just be like straight on the ground. Phaedra tells them that she likes to visit other places cemeteries, because how you treat your dead shows how civilized the place is. Portia says, "Look at K. Michelle's face." And K. Michelle speaks up and says, "Nobody here has almost ever died." Now, here go K. Michelle making it all about herself. But child, they ran over, they flew over there with it now. They jumped the fence and they flew over there with K. Michelle. Because if I had been Portia, I would have said, excuse me, K. Let's stay on a positive note and let's continue to celebrate Phaedra. I would not have indulged in that moment. I would not have allowed that to continue. I'm sorry. I would have stopped it. They all say yes a couple of times. K. Michelle says, take this moment. I said, K. Michelle takes this moment and makes it all about her. She says she thinks it's a horrible thing when she went through those surgeries for them to say to her mom that they didn't know. And K. Michelle got choked up. I said, this is someone's birthday dinner. Do these women not have any manners? But go ahead, girl. K. Michelle then says, while crying, if someone says to your mother, I don't know if she's going to make it, your life changes and you got to accept that. But she is really scared of that. Then in K. Michelle's confessional, she says that she's had 13 surgeries involving silicone, and that was traumatizing to her. K. Michelle says she watched her mother and her son in tears, all because of something stupid that she did to herself. She also said that her son was embarrassed. She said, but now she sees things a whole lot differently. She then said she remembers laying in a hospital bed and everyone had come around because she had lost so much blood. She said she remembers praying and saying, please, I made a stupid mistake. Please let me stay here. K. Michelle said she wants to get to a place where she can go to a cemetery and see that it is part of life. But when you hear like death, she's just scared of it. Phaedra said, well, that's normal. Most people aren't as comfortable with it as I am. She said, I'm a little weird. Drew then starts talking about her dad, says she feels guilty because she should go visit his gravesite. And she hadn't done that. And it's been 2 years. Angela and Drew both get up from the table and they walk off. They both have experienced losing a parent within the last few years. Portia gets up and follows Drew. Angela seems to have gone and gotten some tissue, and she comes right back to the table. Shamia says, hey, can I say this? We talking about death, funerals, and cemeteries and grave sites. And then Shamia speaks up and says, can I say this? So I guess she felt like this was the opportunity presenting itself again. Y'all tell me if y'all think this is when she thought the opportunity was presenting itself. Again, Brown's Girls Rock says you could have bought Shamia and Kelly a penny when Portia walked in. Baby, when I tell you, when she walked through that door, they wasn't expecting. But Portia always turns it out because Portia's stylist is always on point. Portia's a beautiful girl. She makes sure her hair is good, and she always makes sure the outfit is good. She just does. Passion says, and then Shania takes Portia's look and appears on what's happening live. I was like, child, we out. That was a mess, Passion. It was a mess. Who did Portia call when her cousin transitioned? It wasn't Shamia. It was Phaedra. Phaedra actually announced it to the women that Lundy had passed away. Child. But Shamia wants to throw in that she's best friend. I'm best friend. Anyway, you said, yes, that's them. Mm-hmm. She's always so negative. Always. But wants another surgery. That's what I don't understand. According to her social media, Kay just wrapped another elective surgery. She needs to stop. She has already talked about chronic pain. She's always drinking hard liquor. I'm concerned. Me too. I said the same thing when I was watching it live because she actually, every time you normally see her, she's talking about, moonshine, whiskey, child. Because she ain't drinking no daiquiris and, them little pretty drinks we play with. Anyway, Shamia says, hey, can I say this? Last night, remember, Portia and Drew are away from the table. So she's saying this without Portia being present. Shamia says, hey, can I say this? Last night was a rough night. And she tells the group that she apologized to Phaedra. Shamia said she hates to make people think they have to choose or pick a side. K. Michelle asked her, what made you say something to Portia? And Shamia says, it has been festering for a long time. And you hear someone's sighs very loud. They go, oh. They sigh very loudly. They didn't try to cover it up. I think the people are sick of Shamia and the shenanigans. Piggy says in her confessional that, first of all, Shamia is a professional apologizer. Does she need to apologize? I think it's a little deeper than an apology because you meant to say what you said. Piggy said, and I don't want to see no long YouTube apology after all of this. Piggy said she loves her down, but don't do it. Shamia can take Portia to the side and y'all figure it out. Next, we see Portia and Drew in the restroom, and Drew's crying. She said she didn't want to take away from Phaedra, so she just took a moment and she stepped away. Back at the table, Shamia is still pleading her case. She says she regrets the timing of it all and where it happened and how it happened. Absolutely, is what she said. Kelly in her confessional says she keeps telling Shamia to stop apologizing to these people. Who the fuck cares? Stand on business. Stand 10 toes down. All the while, she's in the confessional with her legs up in the freaking air. Producers told Kelly they could see her crack. And she said, who cares? Crack is whack. And everybody has seen it before. What, girl? Is you on crack? What are you doing? Anyway, Portia returns to the table and says she was hoping to walk back into some laughter. Portia asks if they changed the subject, and Phaedra tells her they were just talking about last night. And Portia tells the group that Drew is doing good. She's just having a moment thinking about her dad. Portia asked the group if the food was good. Portia don't want to talk about last night. If the food was good and if they enjoyed the food. And Piggy said, we did. And we were talking about last night when you walked in on Shamia. Shamia then tells Phaedra that she's happy she can celebrate her birthday. Drew returns to the table and says she just needed a moment. They bring in the cake. They sing happy birthday to you. Phaedra in her confessional at the end says that this trip has been a doozy, honey. But outside of that, what is most satisfying is that they're all together as sisters and they are ending on a positive note. And Portia gave herself, she said Portia gave her the best gift ever. And now she will be referring to herself as Lady Dr. Phaedra, and she has the paperwork to prove it. Portia said the Scotland trip was a 10 out of 10. Then she said maybe a 10 out of 9 or a 9 out of 10. We'll take a couple of points off of it. I thought this was a decent episode. I think the episode was good. You said they're all tired of it. I agree. Portia said Portia paid that conversation dust. She definitely did. And you see that Shamia realized that. And she changed the subject and brought it back around and told Phaedra that she was happy that she could celebrate her birthday with her. I will tell you this. My main takeaways from this episode is that Shamia is a character. And I think that every single one of these women have seen Shamia for who she actually is. I want y'all to see this. This is from this season, episode number 2. I want y'all to just listen with me to what Shamia says.
I'm sorry. Who has it in their heart to just keep disliking somebody? That takes a lot of energy.
Who has it in their heart to just keep disliking somebody? That takes a lot of energy. But you've been festering, right? Okay.
All right, baby. It's all good. It's okay. Great seeing all of you. I don't have it. I move on from things.
Do you move on from things? Because we still talking about Portia didn't want you on the show, although we addressed it last season at the reunion. And you've been addressing it like every other episode. And you brought it up again. And Portia told you that you're here. So why are we still talking about that? But you still want to talk about it, right? Okay, girl.
I'm able to actually truly forgive.
You're not able to forgive, and you're definitely not able to move forward. I want y'all to hear that one more time. Right about in here.
I don't have it. I move on from things. I'm able to actually truly forgive. I'm looking for.
Shamia's, to me, turned out to be one of the biggest disappointments. To me. I really thought she was going to come on this show and do her thug thizzle. And she's fizzled out. I'm really disappointed at the very fact that Shamia thinks that it's okay that she lies to us. And then no one else is going to read through the lies. No one else is going to see through the lies. That no one else can tell that there are lies, right? Brown Girls Rock says if we go back when she was a friend of, she's always been messy and delusional. Definitely. I actually watched a clip the other day of Kenya putting Shamia off of a boat that they went on because Shamia was being so messy. Always been messy and delusional. Passion said, and again and again. I really, again, this episode was good. I think there are some takeaways that we need to remember. The ladies did stay in here, Shamia. Shamia is very self-absorbed. And she wants everyone, again, she's everyone's best friend, right? She wants to be everyone's best friend. So much and so she wants to be the center of attention. And she's just not that girl. Even if you, well, let's get off the show for a moment. Let's get off the show. Let me pull up something real quick. Let me see if I can find something over here for you guys on Miss Candy's page. On Miss Candy Burris's page. Let me see if it's still here. And I want y'all to see how these people had to make Shamia move out of the way so the rest of them could move up. Just absorbing all of the attention and wanting the spotlight to be on her at all times. And I think it becomes unfair for the group and for the friends that have to deal with someone like that. I know that you want attention, but does attention always have to be on you? Is this it? Let me see. I'm getting close to it. Oh, that's not it either. Give me a minute, you guys. I'm trying to find it. I mean, literally had to tell the girl to get out the way. And I was like, why are adults having to tell another adult to get out the way because you don't have enough common sense to move? I don't see it. I don't see it. And when does she have time to be with her husband and her kids? Because every time I see her, she out in them streets. She single, solo. And every time I see them kids, her mama either carrying one or the husband carrying one. I ain't seen her carry a baby yet. Here it is. I found it. Let me put this on pause and share this with you guys. No music will be played. No music will be played, but I want y'all to see this. This is from Candy's Instagram. Let's go. See how the women, they dance and they coming out the water. Everybody, they grooving to whatever beat they listening to. Let me see what they listening to. Something on the beach, honey. Yeah, everybody's dancing. Come on, girl. Yeah, show me your bathing suit, your swimming suit. These 2-piece, these 1-piece. Come on, there we go. She coming on out. She's like, girl, I'm just trying to be here. I'm just happy to be celebrating Candy's birthday. Hello, happy birthday to Candy. And this will come. Oh yeah, there go Carmen. Everybody there to celebrate Candy's birthday. Yes. We coming and see. Shamia wanted to be close to the end because she wanted to get a lot of the limelight, right? So here she come. Candy's behind her. But look what she does. They literally tell her to move. If I didn't have the volume there, you could hear them when they tell her to move. Just want to be at the center of attention at all times. And that is not making her look good because she was betting on the hate that people have for Portia to gain notoriety. But she made herself look like a simpleton in the process. Because I don't care how much you hate Portia, going after her mama was not the way. I'm going to show you something else. I didn't pull this one on the screen, but I think I'm going to put it on the screen. I think it's worth being on the screen. Let me find it. Is this it? Oh, yeah, this is it. Saw this on Facebook a couple of days ago. I think it's worth a share. Let me pull it in so we can see it together and y'all can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know. You see, I think other ladies coming back though. Good episode 10. I don't think all the ladies come back, baby. They ain't got their letters yet. We ain't gonna say that. Let me see if I can pull it in this thing. Did I pull it? Where I put it? Here it goes. This is the Housewives of Atlanta on Facebook, one of the groups. It says, I tried to be fair to Shamia, but I just can't get past these 3 things. Number 1, break the cycle. Why would Portia want her daughter to inherit the same feud? Y'all give me a second. Let me plug in my laptop so this baby bad boy don't go dead on me. My mic pulls a lot of juice out of this laptop for some reason. That was the first thing. Why would I want my daughter to hang around you and your daughter and then she inherit the same feud between you two? Number 2, if your issue was with Portia, what was your biggest shot at her mama? Huh? Number 3, you wanted the rumors about you to stop, but you started one about Portia's mom. Child. And I tell you, the weirdest thing, that's to me is the weirdest thing. Then you wanted to have a relationship with this girl's daughter, and you thought you were so emboldened that you told Cynthia, hey, the only reason why we still kicking it with Dennis is so we can see Pilar. Otherwise, we wouldn't kick it with him either. Why do you need a connection with her daughter? And because she said, you know what, Dennis, stop taking my baby over there. Because these girls done called me. She done went down there because her mouth is always running. She got diarrhea of the mouth. She needs some Imodium. And because she was running down there telling Cynthia that, you know, she only hanging out with you so she can have a contact with Pilar. That's the only reason why she's fooling with you. So stop taking my baby over there. Come on now. Talk about your toxic trait showing up. That's a toxic trait. And where do you think she got all that from? That lady that she calls and talks to and gives her all that spiritual advice, giving her those toxic traits. Anyway, if no one told you today they love you, I love you, and there ain't a thing you can do about it. Before y'all go to bed tonight, I want y'all to remember one thing. We are still seeking for justice for Nolan Xavier Wells. Keep his name alive. Pray for his family when you go to bed tonight. This one is a tough one. There's a lot going on, a lot being shown, a lot being seen, a lot being heard. Everybody has an opinion. But there's some truth somewhere out there. Hopefully they can get to the truth and give this mother some comfort so that she could go on about her life. Because I'm going to tell you something. The one thing I know about death, the one thing I know about grief is you cannot move forward until 1, you've had a funeral. 2, you've had the answers. 3, the grieving process has started. And I don't know if she's been able to start the grieving process. So y'all pray for his family, his mother, his father, that God's will be done. The answers that they are seeking, the justice they are seeking, that they will find it. And if nothing happened, let them find comfort in that as well. But let them know the answers. That's what we're praying for. If no one told you today they love you, I love you. And there ain't a thing you can do about it. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining the Queendom. Until next time, keep nurturing, keep cultivating, and keep awakening the queen within. God bless you. We'll see you next time.